Schefter, you mentioned this morning on Get Up how the prices of Maxx Crosby and A.J. Brown might slowly go down into next week. Now, obviously, a team can still, shell out the money, even if, or the picks, or the Eagles and the Raiders can figure something out and keep those guys. But let's say they don't figure that out and these guys are on the block. What do you expect that trade compensation to go down to? Do you think it's still going to end up being, first-round picks for both of them? Do you think, maybe Max fetches a first, but slowly but surely A.J. Brown fetches more of a second like DK Metcalf? Like, what do you expect those deals to look like if they potentially happened?
I don't expect the price to go down much. I said we don't know whether the teams are posturing and whether they would be willing to lower the price on either player next week. I personally don't know that they will, and I don't know that will happen. Like, I don't think the Eagles are lowering the price on A.J. Brown. I think they'd be prepared to keep him. And I think the Raiders would be prepared to keep Maxx Crosby if they don't get the price they want. They're looking for a Micah Parsons type of package. Are they going to get that? I don't know. And if they don't, then what do? Are they still willing to come off that price? I don't know the answer to that.
Is the story Max doesn't want to be there or they don't want him there? Like, what is the reasoning behind this? Because I think what happened was Jay Glazer said it, right?
Yeah.
I think Jay said it maybe at the most authoritative, like. He had the most authority, I guess, behind saying that this was news. Because we had been preaching for a long time. And I feel like we've been nice to the Raiders. I feel like we have been nice to the Raiders for the situation in which they're in. But we would like to see Maxx Crosby get an opportunity to play in games where there's 50 million people watching, 60 million people watching. We think Maxx Crosby is a special talent. So we've been pitching for a long time. We assume that that's actually pissed Crosby off because how much he views himself as a Raider. Then last season towards the end, when the Raiders, his Raiders in his eyes, or what the Raiders are now, tell him, hey, we don't want you to play. And he's like, I want to play. Like, that's what I do. I play hurt. I'm a Raider. He got offended. Like, can you tell us how we got here? And if he really wants out of there, if that's what the story is, I feel like he could probably make, right? Players can kind of make, especially Maxx Crosby's of the NFL, can kind of make that type of shit happen, can't they?
Well, Myles Garrett wanted out of Cleveland a year ago.
Interesting.
And he's in Cleveland. And Brandon Ayuk wanted out of San Francisco, and eventually he'll get his wish, but he signed. Deebo Samuel wanted out of San Francisco, and he stayed. And so,
well,
these things are fluid. Do I think there's been a time here where Max has wanted out of Vegas? Absolutely. Do we know that he's going to be moved? I still think it's up in the air. Like, they could sit down with him and say, hey, Max, I know you've had 6 head coaches in 7 years. I've known you had 5.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Go ahead, please.
6 coaches in 5 years. 6 head coaches in 7 years. 5 general managers. You never won in the pros. You never won in college. You never won in high school. You want to win. I got it. Well, guess what? We're drafting Fernando Mendoza. We got $90 million in cap space. We got Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty, and we want you to be a part of this. Do I think that's going to change his mind? I don't know that it will. But you can make that pitch. New head coach, Clint Kubiak, that people love, right? There's a lot of things going for them. All I'm saying is just because you feel one way 1 month doesn't mean you're going to feel that way.
This guy deserves some happiness in his football life. If we get this guy some... Now, granted, I think Fernando Mendoza is very good. Like, I think this might not be the time to leave the Raiders if you're Maxx Crosby, but the Raiders might also see it as a time to be able to get a lot of things in return to build what they want to do right now. Interested to see what it all is. And I saw some practice film of Maxx Crosby. That 6 head coaches, 7 years, 5 GMs in however the same amount of time. Why don't they put his ass at tight end? And that's why you get fired. Okay, Vrabes, J.J. Watt. If this guy is doing this in practice, there is precedent for you putting this guy on the offensive side and have a couple packages. Then we see him hitting threes when he can't even walk. It's like, this is one of the greatest athletes we have.
Yeah.
And you just rattled off. He didn't win in high school. He didn't win in college. Oh, yeah, and he yams on people's heads and cleats. And then he one-hand grabs things, and then he has an engine that is just like second to none potentially in the history of the NFL. It's like, we would like to see this guy have success. And hopefully everybody's on the same page there. And maybe it's now the Raiders' time because of how much we believe in Fernando Mendoza. Maxx Crosby, I just saw a clip from his podcast, I believe. A lady, a young woman asked him, so what are you doing, dude? You getting traded? It was like pretty good little Pretty good little gimmick out of her, actually, asking some real questions. He said he meant Kubiak. Life is good, trying to figure it out. He said he spoke too much on this. We have reached out to Maxx Crosby to potentially come on program. We do not think that's going to be happening. We've sent him a lot of
Yeah.
But then he's on The Rush, and he's phenomenal. So I would do the same if I was him, by the way. But it would be nice just to get a full clarity on it. But maybe he doesn't even know what the hell is going to happen. There's so much turnover. 6 different head coaches in 7 years, 5 different GMs from Maxx Crosby.
Jeez.
That's an absurd couple stats.
Nuts.
Insane.
Just turnover, nothing ever real. Hey, I've heard what you're saying. You've said 100 fucking times. Hey, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to get everybody buying. I'm going to do it. Okay. The last 4 coaches have literally said that, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a GM. I'm going to get the right guys in here. I'm going to do that. Okay. The last 3 GMs that I've had in the last 4 years have said the same exact thing. I assume it's getting hard to believe. I assume that is something that is that is taking place. But once again, we got a new one.
Yeah, that's right.
We got a new one.
Just won a Super Bowl.
We got some new ownership as well. Fernando's a guy. Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty. Right now might not be the time.
Whole lot of money.
Now might be the time to kind of hang on. But then the rest of the NFL is like, are you available? Because if that's the case, new time, fun. Yeah, we got an old time. And this old time, we go to the Super Bowl. That's what we're trying to do. That'll be an interesting talking point as we continue throughout this entire time frame.
Yeah, for him, you mentioned earlier, like we want to see him playing on the biggest stage. Chef, you talked about him not winning in the collegiate level or in high school. I mean, I don't know how he lost games in high school. I feel like a guy like that would just dominate both sides of the ball based on the highlights that we've seen. But that sucks, especially when you get to this point. You are such a good player to not be on a winning team, and you're in a division. You talk about the NFL, but you're in a division where you've seen teams go from the bottom to the top. Obviously, with Kansas City and the Chargers, they're doing their thing, and then Denver, they've turned things around as well. And you're sitting here going through all these different head coaches, different GMs, and I believe Fernando Mendoza is a great quarterback. But it is still going to be part of a rebuild. It's a rookie quarterback. You still got a young running back there. You got, hopefully, you can fix the O-line. But I want to see him on a contender. He's said it multiple times. He wants to be a Raider. Now we hear the reports that maybe not. We'll see how it plays out. But I want to see 98 playing in some big-time ball games. I feel like, he obviously deserves it.
Yeah, he's special for football. We hope the world gets a chance to see him. But if that's what the Raiders, that'd be cool too. Good for them.